All right, so we're about to go on some sort of roller coaster here, explaining my favorite teams in all professional North American leagues. So buckle your seatbelts. That's all I'm going to say to start off this video. All right, so to start off, which is primarily what my channel is going to be going forward, if not solely what my channel is going to be going forward, is hockey, the National Hockey League. So I am a Predators, Lightning, and Devils fan. All right, so we'll start off with the Lightning. This one's very straightforward. I was born and raised in Tampa. That's where I get the fandom for the Lightning. I don't think there needs to be further explanation. You know, I became a fan of the Lightning in 2011 during that playoff run that was outed by the Boston Bruins in Game 7. So close to going to the Stanley Cup. So frustrating. But that's what really kickstarted fandom for the Lightning. Now, the Predators is another interesting... So you're probably... Okay, so you're from Tampa and you're a Predators fan. What's going on here? Specifically with the Predators, back when Shea Weber was playing for the Predators, he was one of my favorite players. And at the time of becoming a Lightning fan back in 2011, or I should say a solidified one, that really started to watch the sport and emotionally invest myself in it, I also simultaneously became a fan of Shea Weber, and so because of that, I was sort of a Predators fan. I don't follow them as much as I do now. I wouldn't really consider it a fandom back then. It was more of like an interest in the team. But when Shea Weber was traded to Montreal, that's when any kind of interest in the Predators kind of dissipated. I no longer really considered myself a fan until last year when I was riding through the city of Nashville, and I absolutely fell in love with the city of Nashville. The culture, the people there. Long story short, I visited Nashville for the first time, visited again a second time, and went back a third time at the beginning of this year in February to see my first Predators game in Bridgestone Arena. And I fell in love with the team right then and there. And I even have a Yossi jersey. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you all my sports jerseys that I have. That's why I'm a Predators fan. And the New Jersey Devils, I am a fan of for two reasons specifically. The first one is Martin Brodeur. He is my favorite all-time goalie. Fantastic player, fantastic person, and I would say more so the reasoning behind why I became a fan was because of my closest friend. He's also a Devils fan, and he's going to be brought up again in this video later on as well. He's a huge Devils fan. He's also a Lightning fan too, but that's the reasoning behind why I'm a Devils fan. So the next sport I'm going to discuss is the NFL, football, and for any non-North American folk, that would be American football, not soccer, helping you all out. So I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, if you couldn't tell by now. Again, straightforward, born and raised in Tampa. However, I only really started taking the sport seriously last year. But yes, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Really needs no explanation there. And my second team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this, again, is going to be raising a lot of questions for people. How do you go from Tampa to Nashville and then now to Pittsburgh? And the answer to that is strictly my closest friend. Again, I told you he would be mentioned again. With my closest friend, we both essentially grew up with each other, talking sports, and through that, obviously talking about our favorite teams together. And because of that, it simultaneously meshed both of our favorite teams together, and that's how I became a fan. So that was really, I decided to be a Steelers fan, I would say this year. And then a third team that kind of, I would say that's more on the level of my fandom for the Devils, where I consider myself a fan, but I don't follow as much currently, are the Tennessee Titans. And that's, again, strictly just because of my love for Nashville. I visited the Nissan Stadium where they play while I was up and watched Predators game, and I got a Titans hat and lanyard, so I'm inducted as a fan, I suppose, if that's how that works. So that's why I'm a Titans fan. The next sport is the MLB for baseball. Again, you're going to be asking a lot of questions. I said that this would be a roller coaster of a video, and I meant that when I said it. So I'm a Boston Red Sox fan instead of a Tampa Bay Rays fan. Yes, I understand. I'm a Buccaneers fan, I'm a Lightning fan, but I'm not a Rays fan. Look, I can't tell you how many times over my life I've been asked, how are you a Lightning and Buccaneers fan? Even with becoming a Bucs fan last season, how are you a Lightning and Buccaneers fan and not a Rays fan? How does that work? And there's one simple answer to this. My dad, he was born and raised in New England. He was raised with the New England teams, and there was a time where I had to decide what my favorite teams were going to be. And just like I won't let my dad be a Bruins fan, he won't let me be a Rays fan. So that's just how it worked out in the beginning of when I was deciding to become a fan. So if you're counting at this point, there was Tampa, Nashville, Pittsburgh, and then now Boston. So 4 completely different cities, not really even close to each other, kind of sort of all over the place. And then it gets even more confusing when I say that my second favorite team in baseball is the New York Mets. So now we got a 5th city. And again, this is strictly just because of my closest friend. He's a huge Mets fan. I became a fan of the Mets, I would say this year, maybe last year, something like that. And I've been a Red Sox fan for my whole life. By the way, I have some tattoos that I will be showing at the end of this video, because I'm sure that you guys are probably going to want to see that, even though you didn't ask for it, and you obviously didn't know. Why am I making this weird? The next sport is NBA, basketball, and my favorite team is the Boston Celtics, not the Orlando Magic, the local team for me. Again, this is straightforward. Dad's from New England, adopted the Celtics as my team. I'd say that I became a fan of the Celtics probably in, 2015-ish, around there. I've been to several games in Orlando to watch them. A ton of fun. I love it. Great sport. That's why I'm a Celtics fan. And the last sport that I follow is the MLS, or as us Americans say, soccer. I am a Orlando City SC fan, or Lions. I literally became a fan this year. Had no interest in soccer before this year, but because of the pandemic and the circumstances and not having any sports or anything like that, I gave soccer a try, specifically MLS, and I loved it. And that's why I'm a soccer fan now. And I chose Orlando City because it's the local team. I could have been many of teams. There's a team in Nashville, there's a team in New England, but I decided to choose Orlando City. And I will show you real quick my tattoos now, and then I will show you my jerseys. So first up, Tampa Bay Lightning. Got this bad boy back in 2018 as my first tattoo. And the second tattoo is the Boston Red Sox. Got that back in 2018. Actually, I got the Lightning tattoo in 2017 and the Red Sox tattoo in 2018. As you can see, currently I am wearing a Predators shirt. So with that, I will show you my Predators jersey. This is an authentic Adidas, top notch. My closest friend that I discussed in this video got me this, and actually most of my jerseys, because he's awesome. And this is my favorite jersey, specifically because it was my first hockey jersey, and I love it to death. This is a Reebok Stamkos jersey. Got a 25-year patch. As Dave Andrechuk's signature as a LeCavier retirement patch. Back, Steven Stamkos. Next up, my authentic Adidas Kucherov jersey. Prized possession. Love him. Fantastic player. The only jersey that I've ever spent money on for myself that I plan to keep is my Steven Stamkos practice jersey. It was actually hand stitched. Had it sent out. Amazing jersey. Love it. It's my baby. And lastly, this atrocity that I love so much because of how ugly it is. This is the last year's Buccaneers jersey. And in case you're wondering, Levante David is my favorite player on the Buccaneers. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this covered all of my bases here. If you guys want more future content discussing my preferences, my interests, so on and so forth, that's sports related, drop them down in the comment section below. And if you want more content like this, please consider subscribing, and take care.